Hello, and welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, I am going to share with you my powerful tools to help you to overcome overwhelm. As a business owner, I am sure you are very familiar with that overwhelm feeling. The reality is that running your own show is incredibly demanding. It requires a huge amount of time and energy, and you're constantly needing to make decisions to move your business forward. The thing is the overwhelm can really interfere with your life, with your business, and with your relationships. So it is essential that you get it under control. And chances are, if you're watching this video, you could be feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now. So stay tuned right to the very end, because I'm going to share with you loads of tips to help you to overcome the overwhelm feeling in your business. If you're new around here, I'm thrilled to meet you. I'm Kristy, and I help ambitious business owners and entrepreneurs like you to grow your business, all so that you can live a life on your terms. I know you're keen to dive right in, so let's go straight to tip number one. You need to take self-care seriously. And what I mean by this is that often we're feeling overwhelmed in our business because we're not looking after ourselves. So there are a number of ways that you can look after yourself, and I'm going to share just a few. But just bear in mind that self-care means different things to different people. So pick out what makes sense to you and what will actually help you to look after yourself. I'm sure you're familiar with the safety messages on the airplane. They always say that you need to put the air on first before you help others. And it's the same when it comes to your business. You need to be looking after yourself first so that you're in the best possible frame to be able to run your business as effectively as you possibly can. So with that in mind, it is essential to put yourself in the diary and to make time to really energize and look after yourself. The first thing for me when it comes to self-care is exercise. I find myself getting really overwhelmed and anxious when I'm not moving my body. As you probably know, it's scientifically proven that exercise improves your mood, it helps with mental clarity, it releases those endorphins and those good feel chemicals in your body. I love my morning run. It helps me to clear my head and set my intentions for the day. But do make sure you see a medical professional if you're changing your routine. Now, another thing that is really great for self-care is mindfulness. This comes in all different forms, and there's no right or wrong way here. I'm sure you hear a lot of advice around meditating and journaling and gratitude and all the things. What I would suggest is if you haven't had any mindful activities in your life to this point, is to just start small. Start with just something. For instance, journaling. This doesn't need to be overly complicated. It might be just taking a few conscious breaths and then just writing out how you're feeling. Don't feel like it needs to be anything overly complicated. Keep it really simple. Just pour your heart out on paper. There's something really therapeutic about writing it down with pen and paper. Another thing about mindfulness that I really appreciate, and it's really simple and anyone can do, it's just pausing when you're feeling that overwhelming feeling, taking a couple of conscious breaths, and what that means is thinking about your breathing, and then instead thinking of a grateful thought. So let's say you're feeling overwhelmed about all of the tasks that you have ahead. Stopping, pausing, and feeling gratitude that you have such an incredible business and that you are your own boss and that you get to choose what initiatives you need to put into motion in that day. Trust me, that one moment is so powerful, and that grateful feeling will help shift your energy, and then you'll instantly feel better. And last but not least, make sure that you're looking after your overall health. So you're eating well and you're getting enough sleep. This is so important. Often as entrepreneurs, we are burning the midnight oil. We're working late into the evening and get up and start working early in the morning. And if you're doing this, you're not allowing yourself enough sleep, and you need that sleep to be able to recharge and energize you for the next day. I'd like to know, are you creating time for yourself, or are you working around the clock? Comment down below. Now, my next tip when it comes to overcoming overwhelm in your business is to get yourself organized. So what I mean by this is that you're going to want to create space at the beginning of the week to map out what the rest of the week looks like. I'm going to share with you a little bit more about the importance of planning in a moment, but making sure that you have everything scheduled and planned ahead of what you need to achieve. That also helps to reduce overwhelm of wondering, what do I do next? Another thing that's really great when it comes to planning is planning your batching time. So I like to create content in blocks of time. So when I'm creating content for my social media or my YouTube, I like to have a specific amount of time that I'm working on it. That allows me to stick to a schedule and keeps me on task, and again, reduces that overwhelming feeling. It's also really important that you set yourself up for success in your space. So make sure you have a designated space to work. Working at the kitchen bench or at your home table can create distractions, and when you have lots of distractions, that can often lead to overwhelm. And last but not least, you're going to want to make sure that you have dedicated quiet time to work on your business. If you have a family, and particularly young kids that are at home, you're going to want to make sure that you have some care arrangements for them. Now, I'm filming this video during the quarantine period of COVID-19, and this obviously presents a different challenge for us because all our children are home at the moment. However, there is a way around that. I'm filming this video right now with my children in the house. They both have their iPads and they're doing things that are keeping them occupied. That allows me quiet time to be able to obviously record this video. Now, the next thing is that you're going to want to have a plan for your business. In my experience, overwhelm creeps in when you have no overall plan. A plan will help you stay focused and keep you motivated for moving forward. It also gives you something to work towards. So in your plan, you should have a really clear objective around what you want to achieve in the short term, as well as what you're working towards in the long term. This will make it really, really easy to figure out what things you need to be working on a day-to-day, week-by-week, month-to-month basis. My next tip is to not buy into that hustle culture. Have you ever felt guilty for stepping away from your business? This is a pretty good indication that you're buying into that belief system that you have to be working all the time to grow a business. It's not actually true. It's all about focusing on the right things, and this comes back to having a clear plan for your business. And that leads me to my next tip, which is to know your priorities. This is both in business and in your personal life. Now, obviously within your business, you'll have your plan, so you will know your priorities. Within your personal life, it's essential that you work out what your non-negotiables are. This might be that every evening from 5 p.m. the laptop gets closed, you're present, you're having dinner with your family, you're spending time with your loved ones, and then in the evening you've got that downtime to be able to relax and get to bed at a reasonable hour. It might be that you play a team sport on Wednesday, so you might get together with a group of friends and play netball. This is a great opportunity to be social and also to connect with others. Now, you'll never get complete balance, but knowing what your priorities are will help you to decipher what to say yes to and what to say no to. You want to be saying yes to things that are in alignment and that serve you and that lead into your priorities and your purpose, and then you need to say no to things that aren't in alignment. And by doing this, it allows you to create more space and more time, and obviously it helps you to feel far less overwhelmed in your personal life and also in your business. My last point on priorities, it's also essential for you to be able to know what's important. If you're wanting to work when your children are at school or at daycare, then saying no to a friend for a coffee catch up at 10 a.m. when you could be working on solid uninterrupted time is also essential. So it actually works both ways. Next up is streamlining and automation. We are in an incredible era in that there's a piece of software or an app to help us with every element with our business, and none more so than automation. I'm sure you're familiar with the term work smarter, not harder. If you're wasting time in your business doing repeatable tasks, it's taking you away from doing things that could actually be making a massive impact. I know that some business owners feel a little bit apprehensive about implementing automation because it takes away from that personal touch. And I was one of those in the beginning. I must admit that I felt really nervous about taking that away. But what I've found, my customers have a better experience with me. They're receiving things in a timely way. They're receiving reminders. They're having a consistent experience from one client to the next. So I can highly attest to the value of having automation in your business. If you're keen to know more about tools, systems, and automation for your business, go ahead and click the subscribe button, because in the next video, I'm actually going to share with you the systems and the tools that I use, that I love, and that I recommend for my clients. There is plenty of things to automate in your business, but there's also a lot that requires a human touch and expertise from a person that may not necessarily be sitting in your genius zone. So this is my segue into my next tip, which is to get help. We are really lucky in this era that we have an abundance of people who are highly skilled and excellent at what they do. You could build an entirely remote team, and that is so exciting for you and your business, but also it allows you to focus on the things that are important, which again reduces overwhelm. There are so many different ways that you can outsource in your business. You could look at hiring a technical VA, so they're doing all the tech side for you. You could look at hiring an administrative VA, so they help handle a lot of the admin. You could hire a bookkeeper. You could hire a copywriter, someone to help you with your social media marketing. There is so many great ways that you can outsource in your business. Another thing that you might want to consider when it comes to getting help in your business is also to hire a coach or a business consultant to help you. This is actually what I do in my business, is that I work one-on-one with my clients to help them to clarify their goals and to set that plan so that they can stay on track, and of course, again, helping them to reduce that overwhelm. So my next tip is something that we are all guilty of from one time or another. You need to make an effort to say no to mindless scrolling. Now, this contributes to overwhelm in a number of different ways. The first one being is that if you go into social media without a clear intention or a time frame, you can get caught for 60, 90 minutes, and that's taking precious time away from something that you could be doing that's far more productive in your business. The other thing is that social media content is designed to trigger you. It's designed to trigger an emotion. So you might find yourself, if you're down in a scroll hole and you're reading triggering posts over and over again, it could be affecting your mood. Instead, you're going to spend that time wisely. So it might be that you want to spend 20 minutes engaging with your audience, people who have responded to you, but also going out there and responding to your ideal client on their accounts. Now, similarly to mindless consumption of social media, my next tip is actually knowing your procrastination triggers. Now, it could be that social media is your procrastination triggers. For me, cleaning is mine. So if my house is not tidied and in order before I sit down and work, I will find a way to get up and get distracted and go outside and tidy up. Perhaps your phone is yours, and it might be that you need to turn off your notifications, or in fact, leave your phone in another room. And equally, if you're working on something that requires a huge amount of attention on your laptop, shutting down all the other apps, your mail, and all your notifications so that you can really focus on the task at hand is essential. So I recommend you take notice when you want to procrastinate and do something to prevent that from happening before you sit down and do your work. Because the truth is that procrastination will leave you feeling like you haven't achieved enough in your business, which of course then goes on to increase the chances of overwhelm. And so that's a wrap, folks. I have shared with you some really great tools and tips to help you to overcome overwhelm. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if there was something in particular that jumped out at you that you want to try next time you're feeling overwhelmed, pop down into the comments and let me know. And of course, if you know anyone else that might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed in their business that could really benefit from this video, please feel free to share it. If you want to watch more videos just like this one, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.